Geode Life and Work app. If you have not already loaded the contract to the browser, you don't need to worry. The app will prompt you to load the Life and Work contract. You'll click load and save. There are no transaction fees associated with that at all. And it will make sure that your browser is connected to the contract and the app so that you can use it. So let's play around with this a little bit. We will look at making a claim. We choose which type of claim we want to make, even intellectual property. Let's go and do a work history claim. You choose the account that's making this claim. And then you put in some keywords and a link to see more. So I've prepared some for myself over here just to make it quicker. So your keywords can include, for example, for work history, the role you played or what company you played that role at. For education, it might be what degree you got, the subject area, and the school. For expertise, it might be a single word or a phrase. For good deeds, you might want to include the location and who benefited or the date. Any important information you can put in here. And then the link to see more is a great place to include a little bit of proof. So you want to link to something that would prove your claim. And then we just submit. There will be a fee for this. We see that this is in milligeodes. That is 39 thousandths of one geode, or in other words, 0.039 geode for this one. It's based on how many words, the length of what you've typed in. Sign and submit. We see it putting it into the block, and we're successful. So let's take a look at one special case of making a claim, which is intellectual property. When we bring up the form for an intellectual property claim, we have this extra field here, hash your intellectual property file here. So not only will we put in keywords and a link to see more, we're going to use that link to the file most likely, which is the proof of what you've hashed. And what's a hash? A hash is a cryptographic signature which proves that that file was exactly like that at that day and time when you registered it. So for example, I will put in intellectual property claim for the Geode blockchain white paper, and I'll put a link to that paper. And now I'm going to want to actually hash that file. So I'll do that here by uploading a file. And when I drag and drop the file there or select the file there, it's going to create this cryptographic hash signature for that file. If anything about that file changes, this hash would be different. So I cannot alter that file without altering this hash. So this is also kind of a useful form to use if you're checking if somebody else's document has been altered, because the hash they claim it has and the hash it actually has would be different. Very cool stuff. And so that's our intellectual property claim, and we'll go ahead and submit that one because we're including a hash with it. This is 0.048 of one geode. Nice small transaction fees there. Sign it. And there we go. So let's go and take a look at one of the other features, which is you can get specific account resumes. So you can look up the resume of a specific account. Again, we're calling this from an account. So the account to use is kind of saying, who's asking for this? Because there are no logins in the blockchain world, you have to account for who's asking for this data every time you ask for it. So I can ask from any account of mine, and I can choose to look at anybody else's account resume. So I'll just go ahead and look at mine, and let's say view. and this is what we get. So what we see here is the claim itself, how many endorsements it has, the link to see more. If you click that, it'll bring up a new tab to see more. We see a copy button. This is for copying the claim ID. Copying the claim ID is something you'd want to do if you're going to endorse a claim, and we will try that in just a moment. But we can see all the claims that I've put in here on my resume, including the white paper we just uploaded, the link to it, and more. Now, if I really want the details on all these claims, I can click this button. This says Claim Details, and it will show me everything there is to know about each claim. So the full claim ID hash, the link where that's going, and the accounts that have endorsed it. So here under this one right here, which a education claim, I can see which accounts have endorsed it. I can see the claim ID. Again, I could copy the claim ID if I wanted to. So this is where we get all the details for every claim on that resume. And we can close that if we like and instead look at the simple version. Now up here, I've got a couple of options. I can endorse a claim, or I can hide or show a claim. Because this is my resume, connected with an account that I own, I can choose to hide one of my claims. Why would I do that? Perhaps I made a typo. Perhaps the link is outdated and I need to update. I really need to update that somehow. So there could be reasons. Typos are the most common reason to hide a claim. A typo either in the link or in the words itself. But there could be other reasons why you choose to show or hide your individual claim. So if you wanted to hide a claim, you would copy the claim ID. That puts it on your clipboard. You can see that that's been copied. And then I would click the show and hide your claims. And I would put that claim ID right there. And then I can choose to show it or hide it. So it's set to show. Is no or yes, and I would just make my choice there and submit that, and it would hide that claim for me. Now I don't really want to hide that claim, so I'll X out of that. So let's talk about endorsing. To endorse a claim, very similarly, you would copy the claim ID, and it's telling us over here it has copied the claim ID. And then I would click endorse, and I would paste the claim ID right there and endorse that claim ID. That claim ID, again, is a hash. You'll see this concept a lot in the blockchain world. That claim ID is automatically tied into who claimed it and all the information about that claim. And that's why the claim ID is the only thing you have to put here. You'll click submit, sign it, and you have endorsed the claim. And then your endorsement will show up in this endorsement count, and your endorsement will show up in the claim details with a blue check. Now, you cannot endorse your own claims, and you cannot endorse someone else's claim twice. And so there are checks built in for that. You cannot endorse your own claim. You can also not hide or show someone else's claim. So all of these checks are built in. So that's all under the function of getting a specific resume. We also have a search function, which you can use any keyword to search all the resumes on the system by keyword. So let's try blockchain as a keyword. And again, the account to use is the account I am asking from. Who's asking? So I'm asking for a search by the keyword blockchain. View that, and I see the set of all claims and who claimed them. So here's a claim from this account as blockchain developer. Here's my own blockchain claim for expertise there. Here's an intellectual property claim that included that keyword. So it's going to give you all of the claims with a note of which account was claiming them. And again, I can see all the details if I want to. I can see the account ID that claimed that, the claim ID, the full text of the link, and for every single claim that came back from that search. So keyword searching for claims is very useful if you want to know who has expertise in a certain area. And then if you're a recruiter, you might grab that account ID right there. You might copy that account ID and go, well, let's see his entire resume. So I can go back to get resumes and I can just paste any account number in there and take a look at what he's got in there. And that is the life and work.